Okay, so now I'm going to be doing a transfer of my image, and I'm just going to go through and darken all of my lines so that it transfers onto the canvas really nicely. And when you transfer it, it will be a reverse of the image. So that doesn't necessarily mean that that anything will really change, but when you go to use your reference photo, everything will be the reverse. So we'll just have to keep that in mind when we think of shadows and where things are going to be. So you don't have to do this step at all. If you want to have it be this way, where the head is on the right side and the rear end is on the left side, that is perfectly fine. This is just another step that might make this a little bit easier for you. If you want to sketch it out again on your canvas, I highly suggest doing that. It's a really great way to get oriented with your reference photo and figure out how to draw it multiple times to really get a good idea of what you're doing. And you can play these videos again and again. There's no limit to it, but I'm just going to show you how this cheater way of transferring your image that you've already drawn, if you're confident in this drawing but not so confident that you'll be able to do it again, we're going to like I said, we'll transfer it, and I'm not going to worry about the foliage as much because I want the deer. That's my main. So I'm going to place the deer where I want it, and you can kind of see the outline of where it's going to be. I'm going to put it a little bit, I'm going to center it. That's not a typical, maybe a little bit higher than center. If you can see, I've just used somebody from the library's scratch paper, but it's best to use whatever it is you have around. And so you can see the outline. I've drawn hard lines with the pencil, and I'm just going to go over where all of the lines are, and I'm getting a very light line of what I've done already on the canvas. But you do have to go over every line or as the more important lines to get that to come on. If you don't go over something, it will not be transferred onto the canvas. Make sure that I'm holding my paper securely on there, but really making sure you can't move your paper when you're doing this, because then it will move the image and your lines will be all over the place. What I'm trying to do is really just push the pigment, the graphite or whatever, charcoal, whatever the pencil's made of, through, and this only works with pencil. If you've done your sketch and a pen, it's not going to work, but that's perfectly fine too. That just means that you'll have to sketch it again onto your canvas. So I'm going to go over all of my lines. So that looks pretty good. It's very faint, but that's perfectly okay. You can go back through with your pencil and go over those lines once again. It saves you the time in a way of having to redo it exactly as it was on the paper, and this way you know that it's going to fit on the canvas and you know where things are already. I'm just gonna go very lightly over the lines that I've already made. And I wasn't planning on doing this as a transfer. It really does affect how the reference photo appears, but I'm confident that you'll be able to figure it out, the differences and where things go and the lights, where the light falls. And I will help you along the way, of course, but let's see. So that's the basic gist of where things are. And then, like I said, we'll go over the feet with the foliage, so that doesn't really matter too much. So there it is. We've transferred our image. See that it's the opposite of a reference photo, but we can use the reference photo still as a guide for where the lighting, where the light hits the deer, the shapes of the where the muscles are and the bone structure and the anatomy, the basic anatomy. We're not going to go, like I said, we're not going to, oh, I moved the nose, I think. We're not going to go super ultra realistic, but we do want it to look as though it is a deer. All right, so the next video will be us painting. Much love.